Yeah, I look a little rough today. Share your screen, audience. Share my screen audience. Stream audience. Uh, no, I'm not gonna do that now. Only because I want to do a couple of things. First thing is first. Let me fold up some tissue and put it right here. Okay, I need to move the bread basket over here somewhere. Put it right there. Gotta have it away. Audio. Okay. Hopefully it's not muted. I see a green light on the audio. Gonna try this today on this channel. On this channel, on the next my first episode of Danny's Diecast collection. And what we have here today, we have a couple of things here. Let's see. I need to clean this up over here. I need to do something over here with these connectors. And these connect. Oh, put that there. Because I want to see somebody comes on. I know it's just this is it only has what is the number right now? 105 subscribers or something. I don't even know the number. I forgot the number. And let me close this window. Actually, let me hold up. Looks like it's working. And let me see how many windows I have here open. Let me close that one. We don't need that one. Trying to keep it to a minimum here. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna move this one over here. And before I do something over here, there you go. I gotta make a note about this software. This is called FT. Okay, hold up. I have to make a note about this software. It's called FT Restore. Where is it at? Where's my pencil? Right here. Sorry, I gotta show my belly. I didn't have a t-shirt on the floor, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing to have a t-shirt on the floor. Put it there for now. So FT Restore. Let me write this down before I get rid of this tab. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, let me just write it up here. FT Restore. Okay. And then I'll get to my introductions. Software. And let me erase this. And let me put this right here so I can make a note of it and see it when I have to download that software. And then we could talk about ourselves. Talk about myself or whatever. All right. Let me give it that tab. I'm gonna put the couple of places I go to. AliExpress. I really like them. I know they get a bad rap for shipping, and sometimes depending on the store, you got to be careful with AliExpress because, excuse me, um, when you look at the item, when you look at the item in AliExpress, sometimes you have to. Let me just click on that. Not that I'm gonna buy anything right now, but they always give you the pop-ups. You want to save money and click on this and collect. I say, oh, yeah, sure. Uh, yeah, okay, Dollar Express. Okay, I'm not buying anything Dollar Express right now. Up to 60% off. Ooh, Labor Day sale. So let me put diecast. If I just put diecast. Let's see what comes up in diecast overall. Yeah. I'm gonna point it at the. Nobody wants to look at my ugly face anyway. It's okay. I get it, bro. I get it. I get it. Let me put that cord over there. All right. Now you gotta be careful with AliExpress. Have to be careful with it. Anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Danny. I am located in Yonkers, New York, USA. I'm sorry, now I've got sniffles. Thank you, wifey. My wife's been sick for the last couple of days. I think she has a cold or something. Her voice was hoarse yesterday. My son is 9 years old. He's already dreading going back to school. When they go back to school exactly? Let me check the calendar here. So he goes back to school on no. When they go back to school? Oh, so I'm looking at the wrong calendar. So Thursday he goes back to school. In New York, they start on September. In September after Labor Day. I know some parts of the country you guys start in August. You guys already are like 3 or 4 weeks into school already in some parts of the country. Here in New York, especially in the tri-state area. Well, I shouldn't say tri-state area. In the New York City and also here in Yonkers, which is right outside New York City. They start school in the first after a few days after Labor Day. So the week after Labor, a few days after Labor Day, they go back to school. All right. Although New York City school, I think they're pushing for. I don't know if they did that last year, but I think they're pushing for like the end of August or something. I mean, at that point, just started September like everybody else, because that's what I grew up. I grew up starting September when I lived in New York City. Now, when I went to Puerto Rico and I was living there for a couple of years, and I was in the fourth grade, fourth and fifth grade in Puerto Rico, um, they start in August. They start in August, and the end of the school year is in May. And that's when that's the school year in Puerto Rico, August to May. As you know, Puerto Rico is different, and it's not like when you go to Puerto Rico, it's even though it's a territory of the United States, it does feel like a whole different country. Of course, because number one, they speak Spanish. It's a Spanish speaking country. There is a lot of English speaking people there. They do teach English in Puerto Rican schools. I know when I went to Puerto Rico, it's mandatory. You have to take English class. There's one English class. Everybody has to take the class. And grade level, whatever grade is on, that's the English. You know, basic English, and at least you have to learn that. All right, so there you go. That's my little introduction. And like I said, I have other channels. This is my Danny's Diecast collection channel. Although it's not limited to diecast metal, I do have a few plastic, um, models and so on, miniature ones too, like this one, like this. Okay, I need to put on this light. Let me button it up on this side. Like this. Actually, let me just go like this. Put this like that, like this. Bradley. Right? Again, with this camera, it's not the best camera. I'm really looking forward to buying another camera. This, of course, when I bought this camera, this particular webcam, it is a open box webcam. I should have brought my main webcam from upstairs, but I leave that one for my other channels. I'm all over the place, so let me start over. And again, my name is Danny. I'm located in Yonkers, New York, USA. And I lost count on how many channels I have. I believe it's up to 14 channels at the moment. I need to sit down and count them. 14 channels or so. I'm going to say active in about 11. My main one is Danny Shortwave and Radio DX. That is my number one channel. That is 4,000 subscribers at the moment. And then I have Danny Retro Gaming, which has about 800 subs now, which is pretty good. 800, although I have not done a retro gaming video in months. And then I also have Danny Finance, which covers cryptocurrency and stock investing and all that. And that's another channel that I just went over the 1,000 subscriber mark. And then I have some other channels like Danny's product reviews, which I review products. Uh, Not even these type of products. These are more like diecast and I don't know. In there, I review actually electronics and some other household items, that type of stuff, tools and stuff like that too. And then you have what is the other one? The Air and Space Channel, which I just started a few months ago. And that one, cover aviation and space. I put a whole bunch of videos up on that one already from the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Chantilly, Virginia. So that one I uploaded some videos. And I have a few other videos. What's the other video that I forgot to mention? I think I had to go to my channel and look at this. But anyway, you get the idea. You go to the channel. Yeah, I have Danny Show, which I talk about in anything and everything. And then, of course, is this channel, Diecast Collection, which like I said, it's not limited to diecast metal. I also have plastic models of various sizes. I used to be a plastic model builder when I was young, especially when I was a kid. Growing up, my older brothers, a few of them, were very good at building plastic models. They enjoyed it, and then I actually dabbled in it. But I quickly found out it was not for me at the time. Because building plastic models, you do have to require a certain amount of patience and all that. And at that time, I was not really good at building stuff. Of course, my skills did improve later on in life. I love to put stuff together. Actually, I'm the guy that they go to when anytime they buy a new piece of furniture or a kit or something to put together. They usually call on me. They say, "Danny, can you put this stuff together? Because I have no idea how to put this thing together, and you're very good at this stuff. So you put it together. Here you go." So I became that guy. So I enjoy putting stuff together now, and it actually helped me later on in life when I actually went to work for a couple of companies. One was a Bombardier as a contractor worker for the New York City subway cars and all that. And I think this black is too like that. Diffuse some of that light away from the. And then Kawasaki. And that was another company. I was Kawasaki Rail Car, which we were here in Yonkers. There's a local plant here that actually does the final assembly of the all types of trains. Final assembly before they go to different parts of the country. I worked on the New York City subway cars from the early 2000s, that fleet. And then recently I worked on the commuter trains, the M9 commuter train, and here in for the Long Island Railroad. And of course, Kawasaki does a whole bunch of other stuff in this particular plant. They do also the final assembly for the PATH train, New York, New Jersey PATH trains, and the Washington Metro. I think they got the contract for that one. The Washington Metro subway car for Washington D.C. And also they are doing a final assembly and delivering the R220, which is a new subway car in New York City. And that particular car has the open gangway. That means that when you go between cars, it's open now. And those cars are rolling out in New York City, which is pretty cool. All right, so there you go, a little introduction about me. Of course, I enjoy live streaming. I enjoy talking to people that check my people that subscribe to my channel, and also people that just come on here. I will talk anything about anything if you want. Don't be shy. I was once a shy person too. I was a very introverted person. Now I enjoy talking. You know, life is too short to stay silent. That's my kind of one. I'm not a model, but if I had to go back in time, I would have tried harder in some areas of my life because we're here for a purpose. Each and one of us have a purpose in this world while we're here. You need to maximize those those attributes as much as you can because life is very precious. Life can be very short. Life can be very cruel. You have to overcome the cruelty of life and make the best of it. And since I've been doing YouTube for the last 8 years, looking back on it, I wish I could have done this when it first incepted, when YouTube first came about. I probably would have been retired. In other words, I would have had a nice, good life, good living off, social media and YouTube and all that. And I'm kind of late in the game. 8 years ago, that is kind of late in the game, considering that so much of a head start other people had, like people that have millions of subscribers and all that. But and nevertheless, we have to go on and the most important thing is to have fun doing what you're doing. Enjoy what you're doing. The most important thing in the world. If you're gonna work for somebody, you don't want to go to a job that really sucks and you hate it because you're not gonna be motivated to get up in the morning and go there. If you at least enjoy your work and take pride in it, you'll be a better member. You'll be a better worker. You'll be more productive. In turn, you'll make more money and you'll be in a better mental state. Okay. So without further ado, now with the introductions out the way and nobody watching me, let's get to the topics here. So anyway, I've been buying a lot of these diecast planes from AliExpress. I also bought believe one or two of them were from Temu. When you shop at these sites, you have to be very, very careful with selecting the product because sometimes they'll put the price here. Like for example, I'm trying to give a good example here that has like multiple sizes. Um, anyway, let's look at this one. Takara Tamika diecast number 41. I mean, I don't want to know all the numbers. Anyway, it says $7, right? It is $7. 172 sold. And we're gonna see the preview, right? So if we click on the preview, it's gonna open up another little pop-up. And I don't like the way it opened this up here. But right away, you see this price. And you're thinking that's the price of the car. No, it's actually the price of, I believe, this item. Let me see if we go to this item. Okay, so you see, you have to go through each of these things because it's very deceptive. So right now, for $3.63, you're getting the case, this case, to put these cars in it. Okay. Now these look like they're what I don't know what the scale is. Let me see if I can zoom in on the scale. 162 scale. Okay. So 162 scale is slightly bigger than the HO. HO is about 187, I believe. 187 scale, give or take. That will be your typical Matchbox or certain Hot Wheels. Is about 187 scale, 187, 1 slash 87, right? Scale. So this is slightly bigger than that. Okay. I'll give you an example right here. This is like a Matchbox NYPD. Okay, I'm gonna put this light kind of like that so that you can see it better right there. And go right here. Let's see. Okay, this does no justice for me today. Really, wow, Danny. So this is like a 187 scale Matchbox, right? 187 scale. That is slightly bigger. Okay, that is gonna be 162. So slightly bigger. So 187 scale. I'll put this down right here. And I want to roll off the table. This my floor is not exactly 100% level. So, and this car is about 124 scale. So these are the ones that I made videos on this one also. This is a one. It's just dusty. Like sorry. So this is 124 scale. This is slight. This is bigger than this car. Okay. This is 124 scale. 124 scale. This is 162 scale. Okay. So I'm just comparing different scales. I can make a separate video and talk about different scales. So what you got to pay attention is that. That's the main thing. When you're shopping for these cars, if they can display the scale, which they should, but sometimes they don't display the scale. Look at the scale. Because if you're looking for something like a Matchbox, if you're looking for something like this, okay, I need to put it right. If you're looking for something like a Matchbox, okay, that is 187 scale. Okay, so pay attention when you're looking for stuff like this. AliExpress sometimes doesn't like to display that. Sometimes they'll put in millimeters and all that. So you have to be careful when you're shopping in these places, when you're buying all these miniature cars and all that. Pay attention to the scale. Pay attention to the sizes in millimeter. Okay. So as you can see, $3.63 is not the vehicle. It's this case. Okay, let me click away. If I click on this one, so you see. So when you go to AliExpress, click on the item you want to look at, and then you look at the price. When they don't have all that stuff listed, some people, they say, "Oh, I ordered the wrong item." I'm guilty of that. Believe me, I done that already twice. That happened to me twice. It happened to me twice. I'm going to give you an example in a bit about a particular plane that I bought. So this is only the case for $3.63. So now when you want to go to the next, you have to click on the item, and then you'll see the actual price for these items. So for example, this case, this is a motorcycle here. I believe it does not come with a figure. It just put the figure there to show you what it would look like if you had a figure in it. And that's $6.96. And then of course you have all these types of vehicles like this truck. These are $7. And again, you gotta look at the scale. See, this one is not listing the scale now. Okay. Merida fire engine type CD1. Takara Tomy. This right now is not listing the one. So now you have to assume that this is probably sometimes they do make the cars slightly larger in scale than the trucks. But that's the Matchbox does that sometimes. I think Hot Wheels also does that. Sometimes they're not up to scale. What I mean by scale, then if you put what I mean by scale is, for example, this is a 187 scale Matchbox, right? 187 scale Matchbox. Another lighting here is horrible. I need to put another light. I'm gonna do something here because this is not gonna work for me here. I need to try something here to put another light, and I don't have the plug for this light. All right, so yeah, I'm out of luck with this one today. Wow. And I'm gonna do the best I can here. Anyway, nobody's on here, so I'm talking to myself. Every once in a while, in case somebody comes in here. But so where was I? So usually like a 187 scale, 187 scale. Um, Usually the trucks are actually smaller in scale than the actual cars. Sometimes so when you buy Matchbox or because people ask me that. Like me, I'm into model trains. I don't have my setup yet assembled. I have everything in crates. I want to set up a model train set. I plan to use some of these vehicles in the background for my model train layout. And people ask me, can you use Hot Wheels for model train? You can. Excuse me. But depending on the vehicle, some of them are actually slightly bigger. Like this vehicle can appear slightly bigger. Okay. Now in this particular case, that truck is probably if the scale is going to be smaller, then that truck might actually work for HO scale railroad, as opposed to this car. This car might be slightly too big for HO scale. Okay, Matchbox car. So you got to pay attention to that. For example, like this bus, right? They don't even have the scale listed. Oh, it is scale. So that one is actually 1/156 scale. So that is a lot smaller than the one you just saw, the 162 scale. So this is actually smaller than 187 scale. So that is way small. So if you were to use that for HO scale, you can use it for maybe background. But that one at this point is a little too small for HO scale. That one actually might be even considered for N scale model railroad, because that's 1/156. Okay, like for example, these diecast metal planes that I showcased on this channel, right? This one, right? This one, for example, this is a 1/400 scale. Okay, if this plane was to be a 1/100 scale, it would be a lot bigger because obviously, we're talking about look at the size of look at the size of the door. It's very very tiny. So imagine the person that's going in that in that plane, right? And this is a double decker plane. So this is 1/400 scale. Okay, if this plane were to be 1/156 scale, which they don't really make, usually these planes are 1/400. I see them listed at 1/200, which is way bigger. I seen these planes listed at also no, I think 1/200 and 1/400. I don't know about 1/100. I don't think I've seen airline models like this. And I might be wrong on that, but that's very big. At that point, it's already very big. So usually, diecast metal airliners like this, jet passenger jets, they're gonna be 1/400 scale because this is and 1/200 scale, but 1/200 scale is a lot bigger. Okay, you have to pay attention to the scale when you're buying stuff. And of course, it's gonna be a lot more expensive. This 1/400 scale is, these are about $10 a piece, and these are not the best quality, and these don't have these are not the best quality in terms of detail. There is some detail on the top, but when you get to the under part, there is some, but there's since they have no landing gear on these, and not a lot of detail, especially on the engines. They don't have much detail on the engines at all. These are very, very. These are like the lowest diecast metal you can buy. Okay, lowest in terms of quality. A step up will be like Gemini brand jets. Um, Those are a lot more expensive. These are the average. They're about 11, $12, or $10. I got some of them for around $10 and so on AliExpress. But of course, these don't have no landing gear. Okay, in other words, no wheels. What I mean by landing gear is there's no wheels. Okay, and you have to put them on the stand. Now they do have, some with the landing gear. They're slightly more expensive. They slightly cost more. And then if you go up in scale, like this is one 400. If you want one 200 scale, Diecast metal model airplane, those are going to be more expensive. Those are, they run about. I seen some in the lower $40 range, up to, depending on what type of, if what type of demand is on for that particular model. I seen some as high as $70 plus for one 200 scale. Of course, I don't have the room to put all of those. Right now, I'm having a dilemma with these little ones. I want to put showcase them. So again, when you're dealing with this stuff, keep in mind now this is a bus, right? 156 scale. So they're not all going to be the same scale. Okay. If you look at this Honda NSX 162 scale, that is going to be. Uh, Now think about these scales too. Um, for example, this is a 124 scale. 124 scale. Again with the lighting. Let me. I'm gonna do something. Let me just put this light down like this. See if that'll work. And if I could show this, well, it's a little better, I guess. I can show that like that. There you go. All right, with the white. Well, that might work. So this is 124 scale. Okay, so this is slightly bigger. So this will literally fit in your hands. Okay, and this auto zoom is horrible. And these, of course, a lot of these you can buy at like a Michaels. I bought these from actually I bought this one from ShopRite. This is our local ShopRite supermarket. They had these, so I bought this particular one, this particular color scheme because it does remind me of Yonkers Police. Yonkers Police with the black and the white door and the black lettering. Although it's not Yonkers Police, but it looks. It's actually this one is like a generic, not particular any municipality police. Okay, this things are dusty as hell. Anyway, this is my first live stream on this channel. I plan to have an area and a set with all the diecast stuff, and we'll do we'll learn as we go, whatever. And if I have people on here, especially if I when I have regular people come on here, maybe I can make a couple of the moderators and so on. I like to give people moderator status, especially when they're on my live stream consistently. So of course this one is an ambulance, and this one, if you look at the scale on this one, is what 173 scale. So that is close to plastic model standards. Because with plastic models, especially yeah, plastic model kits in general, there are three major scales. 172 scale, which is this is slightly below, is slightly smaller than 172, is 173. You have 172 scale, you have 148 scale, and then you have actually there's two on the there's actually four different ones. Actually a few more, but when you go to a hobby store and you're gonna buy plastic models, usually they're 172 scale, with the exception of like these type of things like aircraft, jumbo jet aircraft, and all that. They're not gonna have these 172 scale. It'll be way too big. Model kit. It'll be very expensive. Usually something like this, you'll find them one uh 200 scale, one 400 scale. That's why it's important to know know the scales. That way you can identify. So then when you do a mail order, you can identify how, or even when you read the box, you can identify that something like this little tiny little tank is actually let me put it right here. See if I can. Problem is I don't have a stand, and it's not gonna zoom in and keep my head. I have to dust these things. My God. So this tiny little tank has to be at least one. I'm gonna say 1/100 maybe, or one, probably 1/150 scale. It's very small, very very. Let me do like that, right? I have an idea now. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get my tripod and use that. That way I don't have to be holding it when I'm showcasing these little models. I get an idea to fix it. See, this is good that I'm doing this live stream. I'm learning as I go. Because unlike my radio live stream, this is a diecast metal. I have to really focus on the figures. So I'll be right back. I do have a tripod for this. Let me set it up. Let me put this over here. And let me take this upstairs for a minute. Thursday, September 5th. All right. Sorry, I had to take care of something first. I'm going to fix this camera issue right now. Let me take this tripod and put it down here for me. Screw this off. I'm going to point this kind of like this because I need to screw this bottom part off. I'm sorry I'm doing this. Might as well do this when nobody's here on the live stream. And that way, why are you shaking the camera? You're making me dizzy. Sorry. Uh, Sorry. Suck it up. let me put it like, okay, there we go. So now I got a steady there. So now let me lower this down a little bit. I can put it right there. And then when I want to focus on the particular tank, I can just do that. Let me go lower on the tank. I want to show the tank, leave it right there. And now you see now it kind of focus. There you go. I'm gonna put on the air conditioning because I am a little slightly warm here. I know that you're gonna hear the air conditioner. Sorry. Uh, so this particular model, it has to be at least. My brother gave me this one a few years ago. I believe this one is, if it's not listed on the bottom of this thing, there is nothing listed on the bottom. I put it upside down like that. Let me see. There is nothing listed there. Oh, Dragon model. Okay, yeah, it says Dragon models. I have to look it up. I think this might be 150 scale or something like that. But this is very very small. Tank destroyer. Okay. I butchered the pronunciation, and the German guy said, "It is not Jack Panther. It is what is it? Uh, I, I even forgot the pronunciation. I think they pronounce the J as is it a Z? Like Zach Panther or something? I forgot. Anyway, I call it a Jack Panther. Sorry. I'm not pronouncing it like I will read it in English. So somebody said, no, you pronounced it wrong. I'm sorry, German people. I'm an American and I pronounce it in English. Sorry. Um, it is what it is. Never mind that. That's just a scratch on a table that I had to paint it over. But this is for mica material. So this table was an old, in case you're wondering, this is an old desk that was for my son when he was doing remote learning during the pandemic. And he was in kindergarten. He had to do remote learning. So this is the old school desk. Yeah. So this is the so this particular case. This is about one. I have to say 150 scale or even smaller. It's not going to be 1/200 scale because the plane. If I look at it proportionally, it doesn't look like this. So I'm gonna say 1/150 scale, as opposed to this matchbox. Okay, it's rolling off the table now. Actually, I got a solution for that. So this is rolling off the table because this, unfortunately, this floor is not level. So let me try something with these particular. It won't roll. Okay, there you go. So of course, this is one matchbox. This is a 1/87 scale. Okay, see, and this is actually now. See, I'm learning as I go on the screen, people. So give me credit for that. Give me a thumbs up when you stop by. Give me credit for trying this stream. So anyway, smash that like for this one. So this is 1/87 scale. Okay, and the previous vehicle you saw was one. You see how tiny this tank is? So this is about 1/150 scale, maybe even 1/175 scale, something like that. And as opposed to this tank, which is one. This has to be one. Not on 187 scale. This is maybe 1/100, give or take 1/100 scale. Okay, let me move the turret over here. So that is 1/100 scale. Okay. And then you have a slightly larger one, like this one. And this is a lot larger. And this is probably 172 scale. Sorry, I need to clean all these things. My bad. So let me go back on this one a little bit. It's slightly bigger. So this has got to be one, maybe 187 scale, because this is a tank now. If you put this proportionate to the Matchbox car, and that might be around accurate. That might be around the right size. 187 scale. This tank, maybe about 187 scale. You see how the tank is proportional to the SUV that's right next to it, the police cruiser. I think tanks are maybe this tank might be a little smaller proportionally. I think it might be. It should be a little bit bigger than a vehicle. So so this is one. So this actually might be one. The tank probably is 187 scale. Yeah, it is probably proportionate to that. So when you're shopping around for these type of things, you should know the scale. Okay. So let's go back up here and put it on the. There you go. And then you have like this refuse truck, the Toyota refuse truck. Let's see, what's that? Okay, this thing needs to be like there's no way I can move around this. Okay, there you go. So this one doesn't even tell you the scale. So you gotta assume that this is smaller than 187 scale. Okay. And then of course I don't care about Mickey. I care less about Mickey trucks. It isn't a Suzu Mickey truck. I can't stand Disney, so I'm not gonna go too much into that. Like for example, this particular Toyota Coaster kindergarten bus is a 189 scale. And then of course you got this taxi from Japan. It is a Toyota Crown 163 scale. So this looks like a Crown Victoria. Okay. Now look at the side. Look at the prices. When you look at the prices, remember that when you go into AliExpress and they showcase this price and they show these vehicles, don't think that right away. Oh, I'm gonna get one of these cars for $3.63. No, that's just the case. And then if you go through all these different vehicles, you can see the prices. I mean, they're all pretty consistent in price. Okay. So when you shop around, and then have you more. So there's actually more vehicles. Okay. There's another. What is this? Uh, River Patrol car. Mazda CX-5. And then you have this mixer car, Nissan mixer car. Of course, these are all going to be Japanese vehicles. Okay. And so if you're doing an HO scale train the set and United States, You're not gonna use these vehicles because these are more for Japanese. Like this one is a what? Town Ace burger hamburger car, 164. So it's just a small scale. Well, it's like a van or a small scale truck. Well, it's actually more of a van with a big burger, and this is on 64 scale. And then you have one with the fries, Giga fried potato car, Giga potato. I get a kick at these vehicles. Okay, and then of course you get your Komatsu bulldozer. So this is Komatsu. That's a Japanese company that makes. They're like the equivalent of Caterpillar. In the United States, we have Caterpillar. Komatsu is very big. When you go to construction site, you do see a lot. I do see a lot of Komatsu. So, especially I remember 9/11. After 9/11, um, I never heard of this brand until 9/11. After 9/11, because a lot of vehicles I saw on the Ground Zero were Komatsu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Komatsu. Let me look at the name. You butchered that name. How dare you? And this is 1/139 scale. Okay. So if that bulldozer were to be 187 scale, it would be a lot bigger. So so sometimes they have to scale it down. Um, and that's something you have to keep in mind when you do 3D printing. When you do 3D printing, especially if you want to 3D print vehicles or aircraft and all that, you got to pay attention to the scale. You know, a plane like this, you want to 3D print a plane like this, you're not gonna print that plane 139 scale. It'll be a lot bigger. It'll be a lot bigger. It might not even fit. Well, it will still fit. When you put it together, it will fit. In this case, this is a 1/400 scale plane. Actually, one 139 scale plane will be a lot bigger. It'll be way out here. It'll be a lot bigger. Much bigger. So this is one 400 scale. I'm gonna keep repeating these numbers because that way when people watch the replay, they understand what I mean by scale. If you put these two vehicles together here, I'll show you. I'll give you a quick quiz if anybody's on. I'll put it right there. I'm gonna try to hold it like that. Looking at these two vehicles, are they up to? Are they the same scale? If you look at these two vehicles together, are they on the same scale? Yes or no? And I'll give you a couple of more seconds. It's pretty obvious that the answer is going to be no because this is 187 scale. That tank has to be at least maybe 100 scale. If that tank were to be a 187 scale tank, it would be a lot bigger. It would be much bigger tank proportion to this one. Okay. All right. So this is 187 scale vehicle, and this tank has to be at least 100. If not, maybe slightly, maybe even like that bulldozer 139 scale. Okay. Because it would be a lot bigger. If this was 187 scale tank, it would be a lot bigger tank. Okay. A lot bigger. So keep that in mind. So this thing actually might be good for HO scale model railroad. It'll be more accurate for the model railroad HO scale. And this one, even though it's 187, it might be a little too, slightly a little too big. This is more for if you're gonna put in a model railroad, I will have that more up front in a display. Now we're not blending in the background. Well, it might blend in the background if there's no other HOs that scale cars near it. But otherwise, I will put this more in the front. So when I shoot that video or take that picture of the model railroad, you want your bigger vehicle in the front. That way, it looks like obviously. Otherwise, it won't blend in with the smaller type accurate scale of. And I'm just talking as a model, as a hobby plastic model guy. You know. And let me explain about scale real quick. I know before somebody, what is exactly what you talking about? Um, we're life size. You ever see a model that you ever order something? Well, not order something. I never did. But you ever seen like somebody sell stuff that says life size model? So I'm 5'9", right? A life size model will be what? 1-to-1, right? 1-to-1, 1-to-1. 1-to-1 scale is life size. That's what they mean by that. Life size is 1-to-1 scale. That means if you were to buy a model of yourself, it will be the same size as you, right? It will be 5'9", and proportionally, it will be the same size as you. That's a 1-to-1 scale. A 1-to-2 scale is what? Half scale, right? 1/2 is what? So that means now from your original, say you imagine you're the mold, you're the mold they're gonna cast for this model. You're 1-to-1. Now they want to shrink you down to 187, right? So that means you're 87 times smaller than the original size. That's what that is. And that's what this is. Okay? So a life size person is 1-to-1. This is 1-to-87 scale. So that means this, for you to fit in this, for you to go in this vehicle or stand right next to the water, you have to be 87 times smaller. I hope my math is correct to be proportionate to this size. And this one's going to be 1/100. So you will have to be 100 times smaller. Like, honey, I shrink the kids. They will have to put you in a machine and shrink you down to 100 size smaller for you to be, you know, the right size for this vehicle. Okay? And with this aircraft, for example, this is 1 in 400 size. So for you to be a passenger inside this plane, they will have to shrink you down 400 times. 400 times shrink you down to be proportionate to this plane. Okay? If you ever been next to a real plane like this plane is as long as a city block. Almost. Not a city block, but a small block. Well, not even a small block. What am I saying? It'd be almost the size of a football field. Probably the length of a football field, right? Almost, more or less. Yeah, almost the length of a football field will be this plane. If this plane were to be right on top of a football field, especially the wingspan, it will be longer than it will be wider than the football field. But the length will be almost as long as a football field. So this is 1/400 scale. This is 187 scale. This is 1/1. I'm gonna say 1/100 scale. You can tell the difference here. Okay, and of course we are 1-to-1 scale in real life, a life size. All right, so let's go back to the European. So this particular dozer is 1/139 scale. And then you have this, what is this? Uh, Glyco wagon. I don't know what that is. This is chocolate. Okay. Pocky chocolate. There's a little colorful van there. This is 1/64 scale. So this van is slightly bigger than this scale. This is 187. 187 scale. That's 1/64 scale. Okay. So you got to pay attention to these things because this for this is actually bigger. This is a Nissan Fairlady Z. This is 157 scale. So this particular diecast metal car is slightly bigger than the previous one. And then there's a slightly bigger case. See this bigger case is 82 millimeters. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Click on click, click. Okay. Move around this way. So this one is 82 millimeters in length, and this one is the same size, more or less. No. So this one is slightly narrower than the previous case. Okay. But that's another thing. When you're looking at these, you pay attention to the sizes. Basically, that's what I'm trying to tell you. To pay attention to the sizes when you buy these metal. This is a Ferrari. Very important when you order this stuff online to pay attention to the scales. Like this Ferrari's 1/62 scale. Okay, as opposed to a what is this brand that I have here? RMZ City vehicle like this. This is 1/24 scale. This is a lot bigger. Okay, a lot more detail on these. And if you were to put it right next to these in terms of proportion, you know. Let me slightly make this one a little bit. I mean, these are dusty. I should have prepared it better, and but I wanted to. This was like this channel just got approved for live streaming yesterday, so I wanted to do a live stream today because I am taking a break from my main channel live streaming probably for another week or so. So I want to be on these other channels and kind of promote them also. And so there you go. I cleaned it up as much as I can. I need a little dust right here. And the spoiler also. There you go. So this is 1/24 scale. Okay, this is slightly bigger. Um, of course, these are more pricier. Well, I would say pricier. If you buy something like this at a Walmart is about $1. I see them for $1.25. $1.50. Uh, sometimes you get it for actually sometimes Walmart you can even get it for 99 cents. I've seen Matchbox cars and Hot Wheel cars in Walmart for like 99 cents and things like that. This tank is going to be slightly more expensive because military tanks like this, military vehicles that are very detailed like this, are going to be more expensive. This tank can go, I think this might be the $10 range. They're more expensive. These are more collectible. Not that these are not collectible, but these are more uh, niche in terms of military models, collectible. These have more detail. Sometimes they do weathering on these. What I mean by weathering is they actually have like sometimes they have mud in it, like weathering the paint. They have mud painted on it and all that. So you can see this has the antennas. It's a lot more detail. So diecast model like this might be a lot more expensive. And you might easily pay $20 or more for these, believe it or not, as opposed to a Matchbox car. Usually these are all mass produced, and sometimes they're very generic. In some, like this one. This one is very generic police, and it's not a particular municipality. So this particular one is like $6. If you go to like excuse me, Michaels, you might buy these in Michaels, $5.99. Sometimes they have a deal. You buy, I have another one that I have to do a video on. I bought 4 of them for like $20. 4 different ones. They went on sale for like $20 for them. So these you might get these on sale. You might go to the ShopRite. I bought this. This particular one I bought at ShopRite. Sometimes CVS, you might find these 124s, and these also have the pull. You can see when you okay. So this one you pull back, and you can see. I let it go. Hold up. I don't got much space here. I can't do it. This thing is too. Anyway, you get the point. If I pull back right here, and then there you go. You see the wheel spinning? Okay, there you go. I just don't have much room here. I'm trying to show pictures and stuff. So this particular vehicle, there's a lot more detail on this one. There is a lot more detail on this one. And this one too. This one not so much. This is Matchbox. Not much detail you're gonna find on these. That's why these Matchbox you can get it for 99 cents or $1.25. On Walmart you might see them for sometimes $1.50 at a Dollar General or Family Dollar, $1.50. This one's gonna be slightly more expensive. These can go as high as $20 because of the detail. These are very detailed. Um, you know, Compared to these this is not a toy. This is definitely collectibles. This falls in the collectible category for sure. So these are like plastic models. Like this little plastic model here. And this one is definitely not a toy. Okay, that is definitely not a toy. Even though it's very tiny, it is for display. Or uh, I know some of you guys are too young, but this used to be. You have war games, like board games. Like board games, like Monopoly, those type of board games. Uh, these small models were actually used for also for board games, military strategy board games. So this could be a piece for that. Okay, because this has no moving parts. It's just like that, right? So they actually sold these, and you sometimes you have to paint them, or they come pre-painted, but most of the time they are not painted, and they also some of them are not plastic. They have metal ones, uh, you know, metal, and you had to paint them. And they were not cheap. Each part was a little, you got to pay a few dollars for parts. These were used for board games. The most famous board game in the world before it became a computer game was Dungeons and Dragons. Back in the 80s, before it was on the computer, early 80s, 70s, when you wanted to play a game like Dungeons and Dragons, you had to buy a board game. There was a board game for that. There was a board game for that you had to buy, and then you had to get the pieces. You had to get all the pieces, and also the playing cards for it. I never played those type of games, but I knew about them very well because I used to look at them in magazines, you know, and people actually play those in board games. All those famous um, role playing games. Uh, this is before they were in computer form. They were on a board games like Dragon's Lair, Dungeons and Dragons. I believe Ultima. Ultima. You ever heard of card game Ultima? Then they came out with Ultima 2 and 3. There's a whole bunch of them. I never played them. I was never into uh, role playing games on the computer. Like for example, Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, and all that stuff. When it came out for the Nintendo, all those were at one time. Not I don't know about that particular one, but they were all like board games. They were, and the pieces like this, solid pieces like this. You know, Of course, the most actually I should have said that the most famous board game in the world is actually checkers, and then chess. Chess is the one that there's more strategy involved. Well, they all have some kind of game uh, strategy to it, but chess, right? He's kind of one of those like a Dungeons and Dragons type game. In other words, chess, you could make your own pieces, or something like this, and you could paint them because that's what they had a lot when you go to the hobby stores back then. They had all those pieces. Of course, now you can 3D print them. You can 3D print those pieces now and all that. But back in the days, when there was a board game like Dungeons and Dragons, you had to buy it. You had to get the pieces. You had to get pieces. So this will fall into that category. This particular one for a military type board game. This one, okay. I know people looking at my weird finger. I lost the tip of my finger when I was a kid. That's what that is. So don't go crazy. Oh my God, it's Birdman. No, because it look like a beak. But yeah, so this will fall under that category in terms of board games. This particular one, you know, military type of board game, or even yeah, I'm gonna say military type of board game. Okay, I know I'm going on here for about an hour now, but I want to cover all these things because it's good to talk about these things. I know people just focus on racing, racing cars and all that, and that's great. But I want my channel to focus more on authenticity, in terms of like police vehicles, military vehicles, aircraft. I want to focus more on. I'm more of the type of classic. So I come from the world of plastic models where we look at more authenticity. You're not gonna put uh, like for example, this is a German tank. You're not gonna put an American Army insignia on this tank because this was not made for the American Army, a U.S. Army, excuse me. This was made for the German Army. Unfortunately, it was also Nazi Germany at the time. So this is authentic to that era. This is a German tank destroyer. This is an American tank. Now this tank was not from World War II. And this tank was actually made after the Korean War. So this tank would actually have served in Vietnam. So the two different eras, okay? And this is not even a tank. This is a tank destroyer because it doesn't have a moving turret. It's basically a 80 millimeter cannon on on tank wheels on a Panther chassis. Have you ever heard of Panther tank? German Panther tank. This the bottom the mechanics of this one is a Panther Tiger, except they put a fixed 88 millimeter cannon on it. They used to call it back in the day the old 88. The 88 millimeter cannon was used for a lot of things in World War II. The Germans. It was an anti-aircraft cannon. It was also anti-tank cannon and also anti-personnel. They would use the 88. So the 88 millimeter cannon was a very versatile weapon. It was used for anti-aircraft, so that you shoot down planes. But it was also used to as regular artillery. It was also used to blow up, destroy buildings and all that. But in this case, they put it on a chassis like the Panther tank chassis, and this is an anti-tank or a tank destroyer. So this was made to destroy other tanks in World War II. Okay, so people call this a tank. It's actually not a tank. It's actually not classified as a tank. It's actually classified as a tank destroyer or anti-tank cannon or anti-tank weapon. Excuse me. This one, because this one, if it was out in the open field with a on the other side of the with a Sherman tank, this will get destroyed. The Sherman tank is a lot faster and would have went around this tank and destroyed it, as opposed to this tank, it cannot move around the turret, and it would be at a big disadvantage. These vehicles were mostly hiding. They weren't hiding. They were, the camouflage, whatever sandbags and whatever they were inside behind trees and all that. And they would wait for tanks to go by or vehicles to go by, and then they would let off on them, and then they would move away. But these were not battle tanks. Unlike the Tiger tank was a battle tank. That tank was very, very a well feared tank in World War II. The German Tiger tank. So this is not that. When people see this, people think that is a Tiger tank. No, it's not a Tiger tank. Okay, and that stuff as when you're into military history and you build military vehicles, you know that this is not a tank. This is actually a tank destroyer. This is a tank because this one has a fixed cannon. Okay, now this is a tank. There's another tank. And this is a Korean War era tank. Okay, American Korean War American tank. So that's why I try to focus on this channel. I want to focus more on authenticity of the miniature diecast. I bought a few Hot Wheels, excuse me, that's a tanks. Hot Wheel vehicles that are like, you know, classic cars that are like, you're not gonna find the burger car or whatever car in this channel. I don't want my channel to be just another Hot Wheels guy channel. No, I don't want this channel to be about that. This is more of the scale model collector, scale model builder, uh, authenticity in terms of accuracy collector or showcase also. Okay. So this FedEx is actually the Airbus A380, not a generic plane. Okay, I collect based on the model. There's an Airbus A380, like also 777. I have a 777. What was it? Boeing 757. I'm trying to showcase more of accuracy, not just Hot Wheels. So if anybody has a question, come on the live stream and ask me a question. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna leave this here for a few minutes while I go drink some water. I'll be right back. And it's 1 hour and 19 minutes in the books. And I'll be right back. Let me put this radio over here. As you can see, I have a lot of radios. I do have quite a bit of radios in my collection. I do have a shortwave channel, a radio channel that I also do on Danny Shortwave and Radio DX. Of course, but this channel is about miniatures today and about, a diecast collection and things like that, plastic models. I made a video recently on a German soldier that I bought from AliExpress. It's a 3D printed resin. Because I learned that too, that actually 3D printing is actually, now they have resin. When I was looking at that soldier, it looked at very detailed. And I thought that was a very high end. I guess they call it filament 3D printing. That's the one with the spool, and it feeds it and it melts and it stacks it up. I did not know that there was another type of 3D printing, which is resin. And that one you have to pour the resin in a tank, and then what it does, it heats up the resin, I guess, and it actually shapes it, and it's so that one, the German soldier model, is a lot more detailed. And let me go to the AliExpress and show you. So let me close this guy and go back over here. I'm gonna close this window. I'm gonna go into my orders, and let me show you that one. I made a video on that. So let's go back up here. So as you can see, that is the one I ordered for my brother. So this one has two. So again, when you're shopping for this stuff, pay attention. It says 50 millimeter, 75 millimeter. So this is a 50 millimeter one. This is a 75 millimeter one. It's the same one, except they scaled it up. So this one is bigger than this one. Okay. So I bought him this one, the 75 millimeter one. So this is a 3D printed um, German soldier. Of course, you have to assemble it. When I did the unboxing video, you saw that this was inside. That was inside. Excuse me. There was several pieces you have to put together. You have to glue them together. Because this falls under, for me, this falls under plastic models. Okay. So there's a 3D printed plastic model of a German soldier on a motorcycle. And you can see the details, very detailed. You see the mud splatter on the tires, on the bottom, on the undercarriage of the motorcycle. And you see the ground. You see his boots got mud splatter all over it. And you can see the ground is very muddy on this base, the plastic base. So this particular model, when you assemble it, of course, you have to paint it. It's a German soldier from the Wehrmacht, the German. For those of you who don't know, not all German soldiers were Nazis. Okay, you had the Nazi party that ran the they were the ruling party in Germany in World War II, and they had their own squad. It was called the SS. Of course, these models, when you see them, they don't have the SS on it. The SS usually has the skull. I believe it's a skull, insignia and all that. These don't have that. Because I know somebody complained about that on another review on one of their pins on the scale model. One of them had it was mixed, like it was a Wehrmacht with SS. The SS were very unique. You cannot be an SS if they had, for you to be an SS, your lineage had to be traced down, I think, 5 generations. So not every German citizen could have been in the SS. And you didn't want to be in the SS anyway because after World War II, um, German soldiers were, after World War II, most of them were, especially, well, not the ones that were captured by the Russians, but the ones that were captured by the Allied troops like the U.S. and Great Britain, they were released back into Germany. They said, no, you guys are the not of fortunately not for the party itself, the Nazi party itself. Many of them were prosecuted. Many of them were prosecuted. Many, and of course, the famous ones were the ones from the Nuremberg trial. Most of them were, of course, executed. Saying in layman's terms, but yeah. Anyway, so that's so I know people associating Germans with. I unfortunately that is, but it also is a part of history. So as you can see, a motorcycle is very detailed on this thing, even right down to the gear. I don't know if you can see the gear from here. There is a gear for the in terms of gear shift, and this is very detailed. So I did unboxing of this one. My brother is very happy to receive it. He was, and he already started working on it. He already took it out the sprue. They call that the sprue. Those plastic things that are connected to it when they print it out. So he already showed me the pieces. So now he's gonna start putting it together. When he finally builds it and paints it, I will make a video on that and show you guys the finished product. The thing about my brother, he is legally blind in one eye. In one eye, he is legally blind. So it is amazing that he can still build these models. My brother's he's on disability, so this is how he occupies his time. He likes to build a lot of plastic models. He has a whole bunch of them. One day I would like to go to his room and showcase all his models, but that would be long videos. That would take a series of several videos to do that. He has many, 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 many models in his room. Military models, civilian type models, law enforcement stuff. He has so many different models. So so when you're shopping on AliExpress, be careful when you're picking usually they advertise this one. You're thinking you're buying a 75 millimeter for that one, but it's right here. This is a 75 millimeter one. And then of course they have other ones like this one, for example. Let's showcase this one. This is again. Remember we talked about scale? It's right here. 172 scale, 148 scale, and 135 scale. Which one do you think is going to be the biggest one? 135 scale is going to be the biggest one. Okay. So when you're looking at scale, you see the price for this one is $14.09, right? That's going to be the 172 scale. This one, 172 scale. The 148 scale is going to be slightly more pricier, and then the 135 scale is the biggest one that you can buy. That is $38.09. So you're gonna get this whole thing. You're gonna get the 3D printed. Let me just put it on that. So in this case, it is a armored vehicle with one, two, three, four. How many soldiers are there? Four soldiers, and it looks like it's in an urban setting, right? So this is United States Army. I thought it was Israeli, but it is. It looks like United States Army because I looked it up on this particular model, military model vehicle. They are not. IDF does not have these vehicles. This is only U.S. Army, and a few other countries do have them. Some of them were actually abandoned, and the Taliban actually has these vehicles also now, unfortunately. When the Allies had to pull out of Afghanistan, they left a whole bunch of military vehicles behind, including this vehicle. And so So when you go to Wikipedia about this particular vehicle, there are several countries that have it. So in this particular case, for it to be accurate, I think this is looks like it's Iraq, maybe down Baghdad, somewhere in Baghdad, Iraq, maybe behind the green zone, because they did put up these concrete barriers to prevent people from going into that particular area. You got a telephone pole, so this is definitely an urban setup. Okay, so these are U.S. troops with the helmet, with the you can look at if you can look closely. I can't zoom in here. Um, these helmets were the ones with the night vision goggles and all that. So this is definitely United States Army or even Marines. But I don't know if this vehicle was made for the Marine Corps, so it might be. I'm not sure. I need to look that up. But it's definitely United States Army, and this is the vehicle, the what is an armored vehicle. There's another angle. Armored vehicle. As you see, they have all these windows like that. This is a very armored vehicle because of the of course people throw rocks at it or whatever. So these windows are all armored, plated windows and all that. So this is definitely an American um, military vehicle, probably operation, probably during the when they were in Iraq. Okay, so this is accurate to that particular. They got different angles here. Let's see this angle. Sure. Yeah, they just have a few angles. So this is one example of you have 172 scale, which was smaller, 48, and then 132 will be a lot bigger because 132 scale, each soldier will be around this big, more or less about this big. 148 scale would be around like this, and then 172 that would be a lot smaller, much smaller. So you know, okay. So you gotta pay attention when you're ordering scale. This is gonna be the 132 scale, 148 scale, 172 scale. You see the price goes down on it too. Okay, and then you have let me see what else. And these are pictures of every reviews of people showing you the. See, this is the 3D printed model. Of course, some people say that is not really correct. That is 172. It might be slightly off. So you got to pay attention to that too. That it might not be exactly 172 scale and so on. And then let me see this one. This one add for this one. So this one is more, what is this? Meaty. Is it during the what era? I can't remember the era. Get the arrows there. So I'm gonna guess this is the era during the Joan of Arc. France versus Britain and all that. Of course, this is again. This is a 38 millimeter one. This is the 50 millimeter one. As you can see, 50 millimeter one is $16.59. The 38 millimeter one is slightly smaller. So this is the whole battle scene here. As you can see, some of them have like a spear. Some of these soldiers have a spear. This one looks like he's wounded. When you see the arrows all over stuck to the ground. So this one got hit with an arrow, I guess. So this is 3D printed resin. Um, like I said, it's very inexpensive. But you also, when you're looking for this stuff, you have to pay attention to the scale. Okay. And then let's go to Hot Wheels. Let me see some Hot Wheels. Let's look at some Hot Wheels. So AliExpress Hot Wheels are here, 164. Okay, Hot Wheels is 164. Yeah, yeah, 164. That's right. I was wrong about the scale. Okay, so that's 164. My bad. I'm here talking about 187 scale. That's only 164. Yeah. Okay. If that's correct. So of course, these are some of the Hot Wheels vehicles. There's the police. Okay, so these are like $2 and change. I definitely when I buy Hot Wheels on AliExpress, you can get it cheaper. Hot Wheels in particular, you can get it cheaper if you go to Dollar General or Family Dollar or Walmart. Walmart, you always got good price on Walmart. Especially when they have the like clearance, you know. I seen them as low as 99 cents. 99 cents. You know. So when you buy Hot Wheels, I definitely would go to those places. I would definitely not get Hot Wheels from AliExpress. You know. This is more for other countries that, Hot Wheels over here is very inexpensive. In some countries, you can see the prices on these. Look at this, almost $4 for now. I wouldn't pay that much for that. No way I would pay that much for that. You know, no way. Colorado, there you go. Then of course the aircraft. Let me close some. Anyway, I'll do some. And we dealing with aircraft. Again, remember the scale, 1/400 scale. Of course, these are not the Gemini, or the 1/200 scale with the landing gear, the very detailed engines. These are not it. So if you're looking for those, these are not it. Okay, these are not those type of aircraft. So these are the ones that I buy. You know, but if you're gonna build like I seen all the YouTubers, they have like they have a layout with the airport and all that, with the landing gear ones. These are not the models for that. Okay, these don't have the landing gear and all that. So I wouldn't buy these for that. For those you want to buy they're more expensive, more detailed, especially the engines, jet engines, and they do have landing gear on them. They're much more detailed than these. You know, these are good for like small little collection you want to do. Like in my case, a little small little collection. I don't plan to buy every single plane, civilian plane with airline and all that, and have like a whole airport setup, terminal with all the I'm not doing that. I don't have the space for it, but yeah. And they're cool though. Don't get me wrong, they're cool. Those channels that have all that stuff, they're freaking cool. They are freaking cool. I love watching that stuff. But myself, and plus they're more expensive. So when you see those tables and they have the airport layout with all the vehicles on the airport and all that, and they have actually some of them actually copy the actual airport, their local airport or whatever. I kudos to them for doing all that. That's pretty cool. And I love watching stuff like that, but I can't do that stuff in this house. I just don't have the space for it, and don't have the budget for that either. And those are usually those bigger, 1/200 scale or 1/400 scale. I don't know, 1/200 scale with the landing gear, very detailed. I know Gemini is one of those brands that people look at. And there's another brands. These are not the case for these. Okay, so But nevertheless, these are good for simple collection. You learn a little bit about civilian aviation history and all that. And of course, I recently bought this one. Let me close some of these over here. I'm gonna close some of these over here because I don't want too many windows open. And so I recently bought this one. I have it in a box. I am gonna do an unboxing on it. And this is a 20 centimeter, 1/400 scale. The Antonov AN-225 Maria. Maria, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Okay. And unfortunately, the real aircraft of that one was destroyed when the Russians invaded Ukraine. They actually destroyed it. So there's only one that was. Uh, I thought it was two built. As actually is one was built. One of this aircraft. This was considered the world's largest cargo plane, and unfortunately, it was destroyed during an attack during one of the attacks in Ukraine by the Russians. And that plane is most famous for transporting the actual Russian shuttle. Russia, when it was the Soviet Union, they did have a space shuttle. It's called a Buran, 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 and it's actually transported that space shuttle, the Russian space shuttle. And of course, after the Soviet Union split up and then dissolved in 1992, was it 92? What year did the Soviet Union dissolve? I'm trying to remember. 1988, I believe, or I can't remember. 1990. Anyway, after the Soviet Union broke up, Ukraine, of course, became its own sovereign nation again. This is, you know, and this plane was flown in many, many missions, humanitarian missions, cargo, just cargo missions in general. And unfortunately, it was destroyed. It was destroyed and I know Zelensky had vowed to make a rebuild it to after the maybe after the Ukraine after the war in Ukraine when there's peace again, whenever that case may be. Hopefully, it'll be sooner than later. They are planning to rebuild another one. Of course, the estimated cost to rebuild this plane is estimated between $1 and $3 billion, something like that. From what I read, definitely over $1 billion to rebuild this, to build a new one of the AN-225 Mira. Okay, and of course, it's famous because it has six engines. I mean, this plane was a workhorse of an aircraft. Okay, so there you go. And let's see what else it can. So these are pictures of it here. Of course, I do have that one. I will do an unboxing on it. I will do an unboxing on it soon on this one. I will do an unboxing soon on this one. Also, when I did order that one, when I did order that, that's one of the mistakes I did on AliExpress. When you order that one, sometimes when you click on it, let me see if this one does it. They try to be deceptive. No, this one is fine. Sometimes they don't have the toy one next to it, and I clicked on the one that was a toy looking one, and I'll show you that one right now. I'll show you how that one looks like. I'll show you that one right now, how that one looks like, because that one was I was like, what the? Okay, let me spin this. I'm sorry, I gotta spin this around because the cables. Um, The cable is wound up on the webcam with this. So I'll show you. I made the mistake of buying that one. I made the mistake of buying this one. Excuse me. Of this one. When I wanted to buy that one. So when I saw when you're ordering stuff, don't make the mistake that I did. So I wanted to buy this one. Let me do a thumbnail of it. All right. So when I bought that one, I was meant to buy this one. Sorry, I'm spinning. And they sent me this one. And when they sent me this one, I was so upset. I was like, wrong one. So I paid $11 for this one. So this is an AN225. This is a toy one. I'm gonna open it now because I was gonna do an unboxing video on this one, but I don't want to do an unboxing video on this one. Let me put it like this because the light is kind of hitting me a little too. So I do have that one now, and I will do an unboxing video of that one because I talked about accuracy. This one is definitely not accurate. And also, look at the packaging. It was destroyed. I actually fixed up the packaging a little bit more to make it presentable for today. Okay. Let me hold it right there. So this is from Kaiway. That's the brand. Kaiway. Alloy aircraft 225. I guess, I can't read Chinese, but that's AN 225. This is the back of it. As you can see, it looks already very toyish. This is definitely not a model. This is a toy. Okay? This is definitely a toy. So I paid $11 in change. I forgot was because I thought I was getting when I ordered it, I thought I was getting that one. The 1/400 scale the Antonov AN225, and they sent me this one, and I was so not happy. So I'm gonna check it out of the box. I'm gonna unbox it anyway for the live stream. So of course, here it is. I'll take it out of here. That's the box. Keep showing you the box. I'm gonna put it right there. And this is the actual inside packaging. Of course, they got that fake shuttle. And this is what and I'm gonna give this one to my son so he can play with it. So this is the top of the so of course I'm gonna hold it like this. I don't want it to fall on the floor. So this is the stand. Let me move it over here. Yeah, I need to find a room for this. Anyway, and this is the 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 shuttle. Of course, this is a China shuttle. You can tell this is like so, and this is plastic. This one is plastic. So this is definitely a toy. This is definitely a toy. I would not forget about this one. And of course, this is the mirror itself. Now, if you look at it from the top, it looks almost like the scale. But when you look at the bottom, they put this stupid, this is definitely a toy. It's a toy. This is a toy. At this point, this is a toy. So this is the one I wound up ordering by mistake. So I'm gonna give this to my son and let him play with it. If he trashes it, whatever, who cares? And of course, this has the pull thing. It's a pull thing. So there's a problem with AliExpress. You have to be careful when you order stuff like that, because you end up getting the toy, and it's not the one I wanted. It's definitely not the one I wanted. So of course you got to pull this thing, and now is the battery, right? It's to release the battery. So now it's connected. So now if I do, definitely what I didn't want to buy. I did not want to buy the toy one. And then of course it has this awful looking shuttle. Let me sit back here. It has this awful looking shuttle. I guess you can snap it on top here. I think it goes in here. Definitely not what I wanted to order. So there you go. That's the toy. So the one I ordered, I'll show you the box, and then okay, I'm not gonna do a box on it, but I'll show you the box. So the one I definitely ordered was this one. Okay, this is the one that's in the box. Of course, I'm gonna unbox it on another video. I don't want to use do it here because of course, nobody's here too. If anybody would have been here, maybe I would unbox it, but forget about it. I'll save this for a video. I want to unbox it, and then I'll talk a little bit about the history of it and all that. But this is the one that I wanted. This is the one that I wanted. It's a 1/400 scale. This is the one that I wanted, not that toy that you just saw. Okay, so that one, forget it. I'm gonna give that to my son and then play with it and whatever he does with it. So this is the one that I wanted. Okay, and this is more realistic looking than the. Let me go get the toy again. Than this. That one is more realistic than this. This is definitely a toy. Although I guess if you can take this silly shuttle out of here and maybe paint it to be the Russian one, and then maybe take this stupid thing out and actually scratch build it, modify it, then it will be a little bit more accurate. Except for the engines. Engines look, you can tell it really. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could take this scratch build some of it and make it more accurate. And then of course the windshield is not. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it would be a lot more work for this to make it more accurate. But yeah, definitely. But this definitely is a toy, and that's what I try to avoid. I don't want to. You know. So this toy I'm gonna give to my son. I gotta play with it and whatever. And then of course it has a stand. And then you put it in the stand like that, and then that's the stand. Let me put it over here. So that's the way it looks on the stand. With the China shuttle. Now I don't think China had a space shuttle, but I could be wrong on that. I know there was a program for that, I believe. But yeah, that's definitely not the accurate depiction of a. You know, I know the Russians had a. I know that particular plane did fly with when the Russians had their space shuttle. Uh, But definitely, I don't know about China had their own space shuttle. I don't know if they did or they try to have a space shuttle program. I don't know. And that's what I trying to. That's what I did this live stream today, just to say hello to everybody here, and just wanted to point out these little things that when you're shopping for, especially AliExpress and other websites for diecast models. Let me go back here for the final. Let me lower this down. Put the camera. Let me show you all the different. I'll put it right there. Where's more? Yeah. Never mind the radio here. Yeah, I'm also amateur radio operator. When you're shopping for a die cast and all that, pay attention to the scale. And also when you're ordering, just make sure you're ordering the right thing. Don't make the mistake that I did and order this piece of junk, because this is basically a piece of junk for me. Stay away from that stuff. I better get it out of the picture. Get it out of the way if I can. Go over there somewhere. Just get it out of the picture. Order the accurate stuff. This is a toy. And this is something you give to the 4-year-old or 5-year-old, whatever. Okay? Even though you can give this to a kid too. This is fine. But definitely this guy. You don't want this guy in your collection. Don't make that mistake, folks. All right, let me put it right here. I'm going to put it down here. Yeah. All right, definitely don't make the mistake. So order stuff like this. Look at the model, the scale. Make sure you click on the right link on AliExpress, because sometimes it may seem deceptive. That's what happened to me with that particular case. All right. So let's wrap this up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave that there for the final shot as we're approaching the 2-hour mark. And yeah, so if anybody has any questions and they want to chime in there and they want to come in the chat, do so now, because I might end this stream in a couple of minutes or so. So, you guys let me know what you want to see in this channel. I do have I have quite a few diecast vehicles that I do want to showcase here. I have about one. Let me see. I have to do one video for the mirror. I'm gonna do one video for this guy, of course. Let me go right here, show you real quick. I'm gonna do one unboxing for that one. I have another one that's a 1/100 scale F-14 Tomcat that I have to do unboxing for that. I showed that on my other channel, so I have that unboxing. I have the F-14. I also have a couple of them. One is gonna be like the emergency vehicles. There's a little not a collection, but there was a few that I did pick up. All types, different type of emergency vehicles. Again, I don't know if I made that clear, but I buy a lot of these stuff. Well, not these. These are before, years ago. But for example, like this particular vehicle, the emergency vehicles that I showed a few of them on my previous videos. Some of them are going to be used for my model railroad layout when I do finally put that together. Some of them, like several emergency, like fire trucks and that type of thing, and other vehicles. Some I will use for model railroad stuff. Not these, but I do have other vehicles that I plan to incorporate those on a model railroad layout. I will be showcasing the model railroad itself on another channel. It's called Danny Model Trains. And also Danny Rail Fan. That's another railroad channel that I am. So I may incorporate the, but definitely model Danny's model trains will be another one that I will start doing the. But that's not gonna happen for a bit, quite a bit, because I do have to finish fixing this particular shack, and I want to have an area in this basement where either that or I'm actually thinking about the garage. I have more space in the garage, but I have to clean up the space over there and maybe paint the walls around it and all that. I'm actually thinking about building a model railroad layout in there. That way it'll be like a permanent table there, and build my model railroad layout there. And but that's for another channel on another video on another day. But anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Check out this channel. I have check out this particular channel here, Danny's Diecast Collection. Of course, it's not only Diecast Collection. I do have plastic models I want to showcase. Um, there are other plastic models, and maybe eventually I might go back. I'm thinking about building some plastic models myself again. I haven't done that in many years. Last time I built myself a plastic model kit was a long time ago, probably in my late teens. 18 maybe 19 before yeah, around 18 or 19 years old. I think that's the last time I built a model kit. That's a long time ago now. And in my case, I was not I built a few models, but I wasn't like it wasn't my main hobby. My other brothers, though, some of them took it to the next level. Especially my brother Harry. Now he still builds models to this day. He just turned 60, and he still builds models to this day. He also does his own scratch build type. He uses other materials to make other stuff. Me, that's not my thing. Although I do have an artistic side of me, a creative side of me. I'm more into collecting and just talking about it. And also, I'm also into radios. I have this is my Yaesu FT991A, and that is the Apostle bar right there. I'm also into radio. I have an amateur radio license. I am a technician level license right now. I am working toward my general license. And let it focus in there. Focus. That's a little bit. Over here a little bit. Focus better. So yeah, so I have quite a few hobbies, and so anyway, check out my other channels. They're all listed at the bottom home tab of this channel. This is again Danny's Diecast Collection, and my name is Danny, and I just want to say welcome to my channel and thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, everybody that subscribed to my channel and left comments. And also, share my channel with other diecast collectors and enthusiasts like myself. I'm able to share it here. So I'm about to wrap this up. So again, thank you for watching. Smash the like button if you like the stream, and leave some comments. Let me know what you want to see on the next live stream, or what you want me to talk about. And again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great Labor Day weekend here in the U.S. It's the unofficial end of summer, and in my case, my son is going back to school on Thursday. He is not thrilled about that, but it is what it is. Back to school, folks, and take care. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.